So it's been a couple days since I got delivered, and I've had time to process before I share. So I'm just going to jump straight into the whole process of deliverance. But before I do, I wanted to say thank you to Ezekiel for hosting We Need to Heal, and Tiffany Buckner for assisting God and I in my deliverance. And the other people. I can't remember their names because literally when I say I was in and out of there, y'all, I was. So this conference was 2 days. And each night they did mass deliverance with Tiffany. But if you was online, they had to schedule you a separate day of mass deliverance, which is a week later. So God had special plans on how he wanted me to prepare. He told me to fast. He had me write down my whole body count. That means anybody I had actual intercourse with or any sort of sexual contact. Okay, so if I was bumping the grinding on them in the club, he said write them down too. He had me go through and list any doors that I opened up, that I did personally, whether it was allowing somebody to do Reiki on me, doing tarot cards, getting psychic readings done, my moon magic, my sex magic, anything I was doing. He said, I'm going to need you to write that down. Then he had me write down a whole list of things that I was aware of on my mom's side and my dad's side. And at the end, I still had some more stuff to add on. But there was one thing that I did not think about till the day of the deliverance. All right, so it's the day of deliverance. I'm in my prayer closet. I done fasted for the past 24 hours of nothing. Like, I just had like maybe 1 or 2 juices, if that, and some water. I have a trash can. And I have my list that I went over. I got my list, and right before, as they was talking about, letting people come in, I prayed, and I went over everything on my list. I recited it out my mouth, right? Then Tiffany told us that it's best that we have our cameras on. Now, I couldn't see nobody else because I was on my phone. I could only see me in the corner and whoever's on the main screen, okay? She did mention for safety purposes and for her to be able to assist you with the deliverance, it'd be best if she saw you. However, I guess there were a few people who didn't, and she reminded them, now, if you don't have your camera on, you got to let go of that pride of how you going to look in front of other people. So right then, I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot that the biggest one of them all for me is pride. How could I forget? And when I say, y'all, I felt on the inside a betrayal that I've never felt before. Out of all the heartbreaks and everything, a betrayal I've never felt before. It was as if the spirit was like, oh, me? Am I the problem? Not me? And I was a prior Leo, so that's a big thing for us. That's the main thing they put up there. Leo is pride, And I say I was, because I renounced that. I don't do that no more. I don't do none of that. I don't do none of that no more. We're just gonna say that. So y'all know I had to write that as the last thing and recite in there that I'm letting go of pride. Now, let me take it back. The reason why I said Tiffany Buckner assisted God and me is because when you go through deliverance, you have got to be in agreement of coming out of agreement with any demonic influences that is hindering you in your spiritual growth and your relationship with God, okay? So the moment we all be waiting for. We started off with worship. We prayed in tongues for maybe 10 minutes. And then she started to call out these spirits. Okay, so this is the moment y'all all been waiting for. The actual deliverance says it itself. So it started off with worship. And then did a prayer. And then we prayed in tongues for 10 minutes. Then she started to call out these spirits. So mind y'all, I'm in my prayer closet. Our AC is out. So I'm like, it's going to get a little stuffy in here. But when she started calling out certain demons, I got so hot. I was sweating. I started to yarn. I was sweating, like my boobs sweat, cracks, everything was sweating. I had sweat on my upper lip, all on the crevice. Like, it was sweating everywhere, y'all. And at that point, I'm like, it's hot. I'm hot. Like, I'm feeling this heat. And I'm like, no, the closet's not hot. I'm hot on the inside. Oh, wait a second. Whoa. Like, and I felt it kind of like release a little bit. But then I remember her saying, don't hold on to it. Let it go. And she also mentioned for us to, like, imagine us letting it go and it leaving us. So when that started to happen, I started like, you tripping. I knew right then that was the enemy. That was pride in my head. Like, you tripping. People see you. You need to calm down. Like, you tripping. Pride was talking the whole time. Pride was like, And pride was like one of the last things she called out. That's the crazy thing. So on the inside, y'all, it felt like I was taking a seat and now I remember when I ate shrooms at 30. I felt that same way. Like I'm just in this black abyss and I'm taking a seat. Like they was like, do you mind if we take over? And I was like, sure, have at it. So when I went to Deliverance, I was feeling that again. And I'm like, oh, what did I do? Like, this is where, like, oh my God, I gave them authority. Like, I told them they can do it. You know, and I ain't gonna lie. That's a whole nother story. That's another story because I ain't got much time on here. But anyway, I'm feeling the sweat. My head started shaking side to side. Like, no, when she called certain spirits out. My neck was hurting 2 days after. Because that's how hard my head was like, do. And then I was like breathing really, really hard. And it wasn't like no regular, it started like that. It would be like, and it would start breathing, but my body would like do this hard, like it's contracting, like, poof. Like my chest was caving in almost when I breathed. And my teeth started to grind and like close like this. And I was breathing through my mouth. So you know when you fight and you get like this, or you talking too much and you get a dry mouth, but it's like you keep producing some type of saliva and it's thick and nasty. That's what I was producing, but it was coming out of my teeth like something on a movie, y'all. I was like, okay, it's happening, you know. But I was so adamant with taking God's hand. Like it's so much that was happening on the inside, like in spiritual realm that people can't see happening. Like it felt to me that God was like, come on. All you got to do is just fight him and reach, grab my hand. Reach, grab my hand. And then sometimes it felt like God was like, put me in, coach. Like, where he was just like, tell them you don't want them. Tell them you got to go. They got to go. And it was like, when I said they got to go, God was like Martin, like, get out of here. Like, he kicked them out. Like, that's how it was. So, some other spirits she called up, like Delilah. I didn't even know Delilah was a spirit. And then when she called Delilah, y'all, I heard the song Hey There Delilah in my head. And Delilah kind of propped herself up like she was about to take some sexy pose, some pictures. And she started to kind of go like this how Delilah was acting. Like, I'm like, whoa, who is this? Because if you know me, I can get like that. But I'm very, like, I don't just show that stuff. Like people, my fiance has to force that out of me. But when I turn her on, like I could literally turn. Obviously, I was able to turn that Delilah on during certain sessions. Y'all get what I'm saying? And that session will be phenomenal. But now I'm like, I got a name to that spirit. I ain't letting her back in here. When it said something, when she called out soul ties, I felt the sad, like the heartbreak couldn't even, it was the worst. Like it was wailing, like, oh no, like it was wailing, like it did not want to let me go to the point where it took my hand, like I could feel my hand. I'm in control, but not in control, y'all. This thing gripped me up by my shirt and was like, and it pulled me up and then it pulled me back. And it took this hand and it was just like this, as if it was like, look, like, you stay in here. Like, that's how it did me. And it was holding me towards itself. Because I can feel on the inside, I can sense it on my back. I can sense it, like, their torso up against my back. And it was like wailing, like, I'm not letting you go. Like, you signed a contract. Like, you belong. Like, I love you. We are married. Now, that's a whole nother story. Because I literally signed a contract in my dream, y'all. I got married to somebody in my dream. And then there was some other spirits she called out, and I was feeling it started to choke me out. It's like to the point where I was like, and I couldn't breathe. And that's when I think she noticed, and she was like, she called me out specifically and coached me through it and was like, tell her it got to go. Take authority. Tell her it's got to go. And eventually I felt it release me. And there were 2 times when my body was so tired, I felt like down like this, and I was spitting and trying to catch my breath, and I would feel it like whatever it is shake off of me and just go away. Y'all, deliverance is real. real